In this video, we're going to sketch the graph of a polynomial, given a few of the key characteristics of that polynomial. So the first thing we're going to look at is we're going to find the x-intercepts. Well, if you remember, your x-intercepts are right on that x-axis. Anything above the x-axis is positive. Anything below the x-axis is negative. So we're going to look at these intervals here to determine where our x-intercepts are. So from negative infinity, my graph is above here. And then at -3, it's going to switch. So -3, if it's switching, that's where it's ending, where the positive interval is ending. That means that has to be an x-intercept. So here we're going to have -3. And also here, so then from 1, we're going positive, and then 4. Notice these numbers also repeat here because they're the stop and start of intervals. So I have x-intercepts at x equals -3, x equals 1, and x equals 4. Let's go ahead and put those on our graph. So I'm going to say that this is -3 right here. We'll call this x equals 1, and then we'll put 4 right over here. Okay, so now next, let's look at turning points. Roundabouts where our graph is going to change directions. So if you recall too, your turning points, those are the vertices of the graph. So you could be going, if you have a vertex, you could be coming down, so you're decreasing, and then you would turn around and you would go to increasing. Or maybe you are increasing, and then you have a vertex, and then you turn around and you start decreasing. So your turning points are found on your intervals of increasing and decreasing. So now notice these numbers right here, -1, 2. And notice they repeat right here. So that means my turning points, x equals -1 and x equals 2. Now, we don't know the corresponding y value of this turning point, but that's okay. We're just doing a rough sketch of a graph. So let's call this, it's going to turn somewhere here. We don't know the y value again. We'll call this x is -1. And so x is 2, we'll put that right in here. So somewhere here is where my graph will turn around. Now let's look at end behavior. So as you recall, as x approaches -infinity, where's y going? As x approaches positive infinity, I did that backwards. It's different. It's changed in your book. That's okay. So as x is going down to -infinity, where is y going? Well, if you look here, here's -infinity. And notice it says from -infinity up into -3, my graph is positive. So that means I'm going up. So y is approaching positive infinity. Now, if I'm looking as x approaches positive infinity, here's positive infinity. So it's saying from between 4 and positive infinity, my graph is negative. If my graph is negative, it's below the x-axis. So now let's go ahead and put this together. So I've got my end behavior. I know if I have an x-intercept, I've got to go through it here. So here we go. We're coming through. I have to turn around here. Doesn't matter. You could bring it down here. You could bring it over here. It doesn't matter. I then have to go through x is 1. Okay, now I'm going into a positive interval. Somewhere here at x is 2, again, wherever you put this doesn't matter. I'm turning, And then I have to go through x equals 4. That's an x-intercept. That's also telling me where my interval is going from positive to negative. Now I'm negative, and I meet up with my end behavior.